In this module, you'll get a clear picture of all the things you need to learn to build a solid background in programming. Master the curricula presented in this chapter, and you're on your way to becoming a great software professional. Learning to write code will take a considerable amount of time. Therefore, you must know precisely what you have to learn to become a successful developer. Learn too little and you will struggle to get hired, adapt to a new programming job, or evolve your career. Learn too much and you will lose precious time and, more importantly, motivation. You need to find the sweet spot. So, let me tell you the 16 topics that will become the foundation of your new IT career. These topics are not in a particular order, we'll get to that in a few minutes. You will need to learn one programming language in depth. A good choice here would be Java or C#. You need to become familiar with data structures and algorithms. A lot of self-taught developers don't bother looking into this, and I get the reasons. Their primary focus is to learn programming. On top of that, data structures and algorithms are a more tedious topic to master. It is more abstract and less fun than building a website, for example. But knowing the basic data structures and algorithms is vital for any developer. Choosing the wrong data structure to store something can improve the performance of an application tenfold, or do the opposite and bring that application crashing down. On top of that, interviewers will probably ask you a thing or two on this topic, so it is worth your time and effort. You will also need to learn what object-oriented programming is all about. OOP is very elegant because it is in sync with how the human brain sees things. It is a paradigm in which everything can be modeled as an object using classes. An object usually has data or state and behavior, and most modern programming languages have a way to model this. After that, you can start looking into object-oriented design principles and patterns. Design patterns represent the best practices used by experienced software developers to solve various problems. They are solutions to general programming problems that you will likely encounter. You can't write any serious application without knowing how to use a source control system. The code that people write needs to be stored in a source control system. Moreover, it needs to be versioned. You need to know how the code changed over time, who worked on what part of the system, etc. That is why learning to use a source control system like Git or Mercurial is a must. Then we have databases. All the applications that I worked on had some sort of data persistence mechanism. That is why you need to understand the fundamentals of modern database systems and how to use them effectively. Unit testing is another helpful topic. It will help you write robust software and deliver high-quality systems to your customers. You will also need to learn a couple of frameworks that will go hand in hand with your chosen programming language. Frameworks are reusable pieces of code created to make your life easier. They take away the burden of reinventing the wheel. For example, if you choose Java as your base programming language, you will probably need to master a framework such as Spring. Building up your software literacy is probably the first thing you will learn on your journey to becoming a programmer. You need to understand what a client-server architecture is, what HTTP is, what REST is, what is the word cloud all about, what is cryptography, how about a process or a thread. These are geeky terms that you hear developers talk about in their lunch break. But you need to learn them and understand them if you want to progress your career. If you want to create applications for the web, then you must study web programming. You need to learn how these systems work and split work among the client and the server. And finally, you need to learn how to write clean, elegant code. This is one of my favorite topics. This is where software becomes craftsmanship. Great developers know how to write code that other humans can understand. It is a form of art. Very few junior developers know how to write clean code. You will undoubtedly impress interviewers if you show that you're passionate about this craft. Phew, you have some ground to cover, but nobody said this was going to be a walk in the park. I can tell you that if you master these skills, there is no chance in hell that you won't find an excellent programming job and kickstart your IT career. In fact, you know what? Go ahead and print the previous slide. Look at it all the time. You have a chance to prepare your brain for what it needs to learn. Now, I want to bring some more clarity to those topics. I just enumerated all the necessary things that you need to learn, which is great. But let's try and bring some order to chaos, shall we? You will probably start by learning a programming language and gain some experience with it. Experience is gained by writing small applications at first and then making them more complex as your skill with that language evolves. Many topics depend on you having some programming skills. That is why I think learning a programming language first is a must. Independently of that, it will help if you improve your software literacy. You need to understand the world of software. When you hear the word process, thread, client, server, HTTP, JSON, you need to know what these are. It would also be great if you started to understand how source control works, because it will help you save all your work in the cloud. After you become comfortable with the programming language, you can start looking into data structures and algorithms. Or you can deep dive into object-oriented programming. After that, you can start learning a unit testing framework, because unit tests verify that your programs are correct and give you an opportunity to write more code in your desired language. Finally, you can look into frameworks or clean code or design patterns. I would probably leave databases and web programming at the very end. And don't forget the golden secret. Take things from easy to complex. Learn the basic thing first, then practice, then deep dive into that topic. Learning something in depth is key to your success. You can't do it up front. But after you become familiar with the matter, try to take things to the next level. Watch more videos on that topic. Read an intermediate level book or an expert level book. Don't settle for the tip of the iceberg.